Welcome back to Sailing Seadrew McLeod. In this episode, we do our shopping in Prince Rupert and then hit the road south. Once out of Prince Rupert Harbor, the wind dies, so we decide to do a bit of fishing. From the dinghy, Alex manages to land this monster. The next day begins a bit damp and calm, but the winds gradually build and the clouds clear as we head out towards Hecate Strait and Principe Channel. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're enjoying the series, make sure you hit subscribe so you see all the next episodes coming up. Morning from Prince Rupert. We had a bit of a late one last night, but got in here and found, just squeezed in between a couple sport boats, cleared customs, and had a very restful night. We just caught up with our friend Colin Masson. He's a dad of my best buddy Ryan Masson, and he lives up here now and has a sailboat as well. Actually, the sailboat's right there, Stella. But we had a nice chit chat and catch up with them. And we're gonna go take care of shopping, get ice and all that good stuff, and then get out of here hopefully by about 1 o'clock. I think Ty will help us out, and a few options not too far away to go anchor up for the night.
The thongs the YouTube subscribers need.
Double thong action. So this is the big cruise ship terminal that's empty. And this is like the building. They try to make it look like catch can basically. All right, so we're like a 4-minute walk from the boat here, and then there's Safeway, there's a liquor store over there, some fishing gear store here, so pretty good access here from Prince Rupert to reprovision before heading north or south. Certainly heading south. I mean, there's not much between here and Port Hardy, so a good place to do it. Okay, we are just getting set to leave Prince Rupert. It's about 2:30. Of course, port days always take longer than you expect. But we had a nice little visit here. Saw Colin and Beth, and ran into Marty and May and a bunch of other, and met some other nice folks on the docks. But there is now a nice outflowing wind, so we should be able to start sailing right off the dock here pretty much. It was northwest initially, and we were going to be able to maybe sail off of the dock, but we'll have to motor just a moment and then be able to put sails up and get going. So yeah, hopefully this continues to build. It's filled in nicely. And we are going to just head out of the harbor. There's a few spots we can go to within even 15 miles, 20 miles kind of thing. So there's a bunch of different options, and we'll sort of see what the wind is doing out there as always, and pick the one that suits us best for the wind angle. But lots of nice looking options out there and some good recommendations from folks. That's the Bluetooth speakers ringing off. So yeah, we're gonna get going here out of Prince Rupert. Nice place to visit. We had pizza, we got groceries, more beer. So there you go. Bye. Got a bit lighter, and we're just moseying along in a knot. It's a busy little harbor. Tug and tow going by behind me, and the container port's just up ahead. But we're still making way. The wind has shifted kind of northwest, which is ideal for us. It's Alex drinking some water. It's good. It's good to be hydrated. I need to do that myself.
This episode is brought to you by water.
Water. Stay hydrated. Whoa! We like barely even made a dent in the wave. You can act natural if you want to. Is that natural? Not a lick of wind to be seen. So we're just motoring to a couple little islands that form sort of a U shape, and we're gonna anchor there. If the wind comes up, we have a better looking anchorage 7 miles away, but if the wind does not come up, we might just hang out here and chill out. A little bit of southerly coming, but it doesn't look like a whole lot, so it should be just fine there. And yeah, so we'll check it out, have dinner, chill. If the breeze comes up, we'll go sailing again in the evening. But it would seem anchoring here was the right choice. It is flat calm out there, like basically zero wind at all. We would have had to motor the whole way, 7 miles or so, which is pretty unacceptable. That's a lot of motoring, man. But we're just hanging out here. Alex went for a little stroll on shore. It's a nice beach. I had a nap, and it's slack tide now, so we're gonna go fishing. it looks like some spots that could be interesting for lingcod or even halibut just off of the bay here. So we're gonna put on the outboard and go for a little cruise, see what we can find. Okay, Mr. Alex has pretty significant seeming fish on the line here. We'll see if it's a gaffer or a net one, but I need my hands back, so sorry viewers, we'll give you an update after. Alex decided he wanted halibut, so he caught one in 78 feet, and it's a biggie. Oh, it's a little twitchy still. It's morning time now, bit of a drizzly, foggy morning. There was a breeze, it seems to have just died off. But the current is in our favor right now, so we'll at least go out of the anchorage and see if we're drifting the right direction. We're in the Kinahan Islands, just about 5 or 6 miles south of Prince Rupert. We had a very peaceful night here after our wild halibut catch last night, and now we're gonna try and catch up with some sailing friends of ours who I know have a freezer and would probably be keen for some halibut. But we'll be sharing most of this fish with folks. We're gonna get going here, heading down Ogden Channel towards Banks Island. No wind to be seen at the moment, but it's good to run a diesel at least until it's good and hot, and then cool down and turn it off. So we're gonna do that for now. We're gonna motor a few miles and then we'll just shut down and wait for the wind. But yeah, we're powered by halibut right now, and this episode of Sailing Cedar McClyde is brought to you by halibut. Yum. Gotta work on that. Wind has come up nicely. The current has also come up against us now, so we're kind of making about the same speed. But that's just fine. We're doing about 3 and a bit knots. Hydrovane's working great. Dead downwind here. Still trying to figure out the best way to set it. I tend to let put the wheel a little offset and it a little offset, and it seems to work quite well and keeps the sails full. So that works. If there's anyone watching this that has suggestions on the best practices for dead downwind with the hydrovane, I'm all ears and would love to see it in the comments. Got Alex with his super cool hat. The wind was faltering a little bit, but now it seems to be coming back up. We are definitely got some current against us, so going a bit slow, but we're moving in the right direction. So gotta remember that when you're going 1.5 knots, at least we're not tacking, because we are making 1.5 miles an hour. And it should increase some more soon here with this wind.
Tea with our pinkies up.
Yeah, drinking tea with our pinkies. There's Alex. Nice. We're gonna cook some halibut soon, because we are powered by halibut for the next little while here. Just gonna eat tons and tons of halibut and maybe like a little bit of carbohydrates and veggies to help process things, you know. Yeah, just heading into Arthur's Passage here. This is familiar terrain for me, but we'll be veering off into Ogden Channel soon. We're making a real nice pace here. A few whitecaps around, but just kind of perfect, stronger spinnaker weather. I don't like to push it too much with the spinnaker myself. This is like kind of a good amount. I wouldn't really put it up in much more wind. I'd probably hang on if the wind did come on though, so come up a little bit higher, but forecast is good, and we're just gonna carry on with this.
Here we are, coming up on Banff, Alberta, on the Bow River. This is just 20 minutes after we put the spinnaker up, and wind's really piling in here. So roll the genoa out, douse the spinnaker, be in Banff in no time.
Sweet, go skiing. Thank you, old man Cebulski. In a fantastic sail here, as old man Cebulski reported. The wind did come up somewhat abruptly, and we switched back to the genoa, and we're making fantastic time. Yeah, really great speed here, flat water sailing, current in our favor, we're going 7 knots. Pretty nice here. We'll see what comes around the next corner. There's gonna be lots of surprises, I think. This one's a really nice one. Okay, the great sailing continues here. It's warped right around the corner, kind of as we'd hoped and expected. And we're bombing along here at 5 to 6 knots. I see some more wind coming up behind. Yeah, had a big old halibut lunch. We're crushing bubblies, keeping it pretty real out here. The landscape's changing a bit here as we work our way towards the outer coast. More bluffy, the trees get a bit shorter. Kind of coastal bogland landscape out on this coast here. Yeah, so really excited to get out here. The hills get a bit smaller. There should be really steady wind out in these outer channels here. We have some somewhat narrow channels to get through, but I'm optimistic we'll be able to sail straight through them with this northwesterly wind blowing here. We have redeployed the spinnaker. Kind of light wind in here. It's pretty fluky, changing angles quite a lot, and there was some strange southeast for a little while, kind of coming through this channel, which was unexpected, but worked for us. But we're just getting up to our point where we choose beaver or schooner channels, and we'll just see what kind of influence we're getting from hopefully Hecate Strait northwesterly, or from this sort of outflow thing that's happening here. Yeah, always a mystery in these funny channels around here. Eileen, here's your son looking dashing with his captain's hat on. He's got the skipper hat on right now, steering the boat.
Hi, Mom.
And we are having a very nice sail, continued sail, about to enter the junction of beaver and schooner passages in Ogden Channel here. The wind is helping us out here at a nice little angle to get us around these islands, and then we're going to likely head down Beaver Passage. Looks like the wind's kind of becoming northwest now. Can't find my hat, so I'm rocking this one. Thanks, Ellis. Continued good sailing here. The wind is warping around these islands for us, and we're just able to keep running with the spinnaker. Looks like it's going to keep doing that for us. And we're getting, I think we're about 5 miles or something from Prince Rupert Channel now, where we should hopefully have perhaps a bit stronger wind, and it should be right down the channel northwest, so yeah. And there is open water in Prince Rupert Channel out there, top of Prince Rupert Channel, and we're actually just looking out into Hecate Strait. It's like a very pleasant day out there. We are quickly approaching Prince Rupert Channel. The wind is really nice in here. It's quite gusty. So I got Alex on main sheet spilling duties. I thought about reefing, but I think it's just going to be quite manageable. We're going to be veering off downwind pretty quick. So yeah, just a few miles ahead, and then we'll be turning down Prince Rupert Channel. There's another gust right now. And we should have a really great run. It looks very filled in, very nice up there. I think it's going to be perfect, kind of full canvas sailing, rocking hull speed, and we're actually going above hull speed right now, kicking it at like 7 knots as we speak. It's Alex on the helm. The big old Alaska Marine Lines tug with all the containers coming south, and Hecate Strait to the north here, Banks Island on the left. What's that on our right? I think it's Pitt on our right. It was a little choppy for a minute. We kind of lost our wind for a few minutes there. Not lost it, but it wasn't enough to keep the sails full with this chop that was coming in, and a bit of a race from some current against us. But we have a current against us, but we're still making right around 5 knots or so. Kind of what we were hoping for, and always that's sort of the goal. I always like to aim for 5 knots. If we do better, great. If we do less, well, whatever. That's fine. We're sailing. But I'm just making up some dinner down below. It's meal number 3 of the halibut, and this time I'm frying it up a little bit with some butter and flour on there, so it's sort of fish and chip kind of deal. Not quite, but it'll be good. And made some mashed potatoes too. There's our pan-fried halibut with a bit of flour and some spices in the mix. Looks pretty good. And just basic old mashed potatoes. Some broccoli, because we don't want to get scurvy, right? Some lemons. What a brilliant day. It's been phenomenal sailing through here and not seeing any other boats. The only boat we saw today, other than a couple skiffs, once we got out into the outer channel, is just one barge in tow. That's it. Not another soul. Pretty, it's not too far from Rupert, but it feels pretty remote, but it's just absolutely beautiful with really fantastic anchorages speckled throughout here. Alright, so we're just on the final approach here to Colby Bay. The wind is conveniently kind of mellowing out just as we approach it throughout the whole channel here. That's always a treat when it's not all hectic taking the sails down. But yeah, just a half mile left to the entrance, and then it's about a half mile in, and it looks like it's going to be a really sweet spot. This anchorage looks so cool. It's like really unsuspecting. You don't really see the entrance until you're right here. Pretty narrow, but it's fairly well charted. Certainly after being in Alaska, it looks beautifully charted. Looks really nice in here. Looks like we're driving into a river or something. It's perfect. A couple outlying rocks, but they're all charted well and easy to see. All right, we just anchored up in Colby Bay, and we're gonna go see Patrick and Natalie on Violet Hour and give them some halibut. Hopefully they'll take a bunch. But beautiful little spot here. Lots of little cool fingers off the bay. But the holding is great, 40 something feet, and it's high tide right now, so we'll have tons of scope out. Little gusts of wind coming off the hills, but it looks like we're gonna have a comfy night in here. Well, that's about it for this week's episode. We had a very peaceful night in Colby Bay, and the next day we continued down Prince Rupert Channel down towards Kinahan Island, where we anchored in an absolutely spectacular location. Thanks so much for watching Sailing Cedar McClyde, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do hit that button. Bye for now!